Hello again. Sorry for the slight delay in posting, but I am back to share with you part 2 of our ongoing story theme. There will be more next time. But this time I would like to talk a little bit about the ways that we share our own stories with each other. In this technological day and age, that has become more easy to do. In fact, we've got online blogs, such as this video one. We've got social networking sites like Twitter and Facebook, in which our more narcissistic tendencies can shine through as we share the intricate details of our daily existence, whether others want to listen to it or not. We are in a time where we can recall journals or diaries that we would write in and put locks on the outside of. Nowadays, kids are sharing those diary entries with each other each and every day on the internet. We want everyone to hear our stories. Are we listening to their stories, though? There is value in truly listening to each other and to find people in our lives that we can share our stories with. People who are also willing to listen when we share of the intimacy within us. There's impersonal ways to experience each other's stories. I'm drawn especially to documentary films, to autobiographies of people that I see, celebrities and things like that, that are living different kinds of lives than I might be. But to have a personal connection with someone else gives us a greater look into someone that we know, as opposed to the impersonal experience that a film or a book can give us. One set of people who we can share our experiences with is our family or our friends. One of the main audience that I've been trying to reach out to with this video blog is parents of children and youth. And oftentimes our children seem to be much more interested in themselves than anyone else. But I do think that they desire and they need the kinds of connections that we can provide by sharing our stories. They want to know you. They want to know your stories. They want to be able to relate to you as a fellow human being and not just see you as the authority figure or the person who keeps them fed, clothed, and sheltered. Often when a crisis arrives in a young person's life, our first instinct is to offer a speech. Here's what you need to do, and here's why you need to do it. But as much as we think we might be doing the right thing, when we look at the master teacher and see what Jesus did, oftentimes he told a story. He didn't offer a sermon. He didn't offer 5 steps to effective communication with God. He said, once upon a time there was a sower who was sowing seed on the land, ... When our kids reach out to us, let's find a way to teach with story, to share our own stories with them. Tell about a time when you might have been in a situation similar to theirs. How did you handle yourself? What mistakes even did you make? Oftentimes we're tempted to say something like, I know exactly what you're going through, and then share our stories. But we don't know exactly what they're going through. Their situation may be similar to ours, but it will never be exactly the same. However, we can relate to their experiences in a way that shows we care and shows that we've been through something similar and may have even successfully weathered the storm. If you look at life like a maze, sometimes we might not even know the way out yet, but we've been in the maze a lot longer than they have. And so we can at least show them the paths that will not lead to the right way, but in fact will lead to a dead end. There's another kind of family story I want to talk about today, and that's the legacy of those who have gone before us. Whether we have kids of our own, we are all someone else's kid. We have a parent or parents who either brought us into the world or chose us to raise as their own. There are countless of generations before us who each contributed to who we are. When those we love pass away, one of the things that we seem to naturally do in those difficult first few weeks is to sit around and tell stories about them. And a little comfort and even a little laughter manages to peek through the tears. as we celebrate that person's legacy that they left behind. Our dear friends and our family members take so many of their stories with them when they die. But in all the ways that we are able, we should try to keep those stories alive. Find a way to sit with your child, with your teenager, with your friend, with your spouse. Look through old photo albums. Tell stories about the family members that you remember, that if it's your kids, they may not remember or may have been not alive when that person was. 2 Christmases ago, my dad put together some notebooks of stories. One, you'll see here, that's him on the little pony. Those of you old enough to remember, photographers used to go around and take pictures of your kid on a pony. Not so much these days. He put stories together, typed them up, and included them in pages in this notebook. Some of these are stories from when he was a kid. Some of them are stories of when I was a kid. But these stories will be preserved now and will be passed on. In addition to that, this one is called simply Legacy. And he included a lot of genealogical stuff in here. Let me tell you a little bit of what he says in the introduction. Several years ago, I realized that I knew very little about family members. Only briefly had I quizzed my grandmothers about their earlier years and their memories of the past. These were exciting experiences, but they were too little too late. Almost no one had recorded a family tree. Our families each had difficulty in reconstructing the past. I began the process of digging up the past several years ago by presenting Tim with a book of basic family information, and other things have been added through the years, but only the surface of legacy has been scratched. This notebook is an attempt to add to the trail of legacy. When he put these things together, they were certainly an atypical gift, but this is the kind of gift that will last much longer than many of the things that we give to each other. These are tales of our legacy, of our heritage. These are stories that will last longer than we will. We can live on when we are gone through the people that we touch, through the stories that we tell. This is the kind of thing that I'm talking about. Share your stories with those in your life, so that you will be able to be celebrated and remembered for many years to come, and your story will live on in them. See you next time.